Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Akshat Srivastav. Is he the best YouTuber to learn about investing, or is he just a scammer? He has almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube, a big investor community, and sells multiple finance and investment related courses on his own website called Wisdom Hatch. So he's kind of a big name in the investing circles currently. But he has also drawn a lot of flack on the online forums such as Reddit and Quora, where people think he's a lot of fluff and does not really have much insights to share. So I spent a lot of time researching about him, his investment style, his asset allocation, how his portfolio has grown, and whether his 2023 predictions have come true. So I looked at 10 stocks that he recommended buying in 2022. And what I found out was very interesting. Watch till the end to find out. He has multiple income streams, such as YouTube ad revenue, the brand sponsorships that he gets, the community fees that he charges on YouTube, and the finance courses that he sells on his own website. He also gets rental income through the investment that he has made into commercial real estate. Last but not the least, his investment income. Now, he has made several videos about his $1 million portfolio. However, he has never revealed the size of his portfolio. He has left it to the imagination of his viewers. Now, there's a lot of speculation out there, but it's definitely nothing less than 25 crore Indian rupees. And a lot of that growth has happened in the recent past. So, based on all the videos that he has made, what information he has posted on social media, and whatever I could gather from his community. All right, before we jump into analyzing his content, let's understand what sort of content does he create? What's the target audience that he caters to? What his presentation style is? And what value does he provide to his community? Most of his videos are to educate his viewers. And he has himself said that in various occasions in his own videos. And considering he comes from management consulting and teaching background, that's not very surprising. In terms of the quality of his information, you can debate or disagree with his views, but he usually provides a very strong reasoning based on the research that he has done. The different types of videos that he creates and classifies them into 4 major categories. He produces various types of videos covering different subjects. The primary category is stock market strategy, where he discusses the purchase of high value stocks like Geofinance or Infosys, Polycab, HDFC, a lot of other stocks. Approximately 60% of his content falls under this category. The second category focuses on market trends and predictions. In these videos, he analyzes the overall market outlook for specific periods and explores the impact of geopolitical events such as the Israel-Palestine war in 2024 on the stock market. The third category delves into the broader personal finance topics, offering generic advice on personal finance. These videos provide guidance on various subjects such as achieving early retirement or attaining financial milestones like making the first million. The final category comprises of interviews with some industry experts like this one, where he talks to one of the partners at PCG to gain advice on wealth building and investing. He also makes videos about career and life related advice. And unlike a lot of other finance influencers, he does not peddle the same old generic investment advice. And even when he does that, he comes across as someone who's speaking from experience. His target audience are mostly middle-aged men based out of India who are not complete beginners in stock market investing, who have done a little bit of trading and investing themselves and are looking for some very specific stock related advice. Whilst there are many YouTubers out there, what sets him apart is that he is the only one who does a thorough fundamental analysis on the stock, also does a lot of technical analysis, and then combines it with what's happening generally in the economy. So he brings all of those three factors together, and that is very valuable for his viewers. He speaks with ease and he also uses English, something that most educated Indians can relate. So let's have a look at the kind of criticism that he has drawn online and what the investor community in India will think about him. So let's check out a few forums. All right. So to understand what the general public thinks about Akshat Srivastav's YouTube channel, I went to this particular thread and looked at some of the comments that people have. Like this guy says, stop following him. He's more of a YouTuber than market expert. Stopped watching him cause he repeated the same bullshit again and again. Will Nifty go up or not? And yeah, there's a lot of similar comments. Now, whether you resonate with these comments or not, I will leave that to you. But my views, most of these are written from an angle of hatred or envy. We can find a lot of trolling that happens online, and this to me feels a classic example of that. then a thorough criticism. So I didn't want to restrict myself to the online forums alone. So I googled Akshat Srivastav, and there were a lot of articles, not specific to him alone, but for Fin influencers in general. However, there was one particular article that piqued my interest, and I thought to look into that one. So, what happened was Akshat Srivastav made this particular tweet. The Statue of Unity cost 8,000 crores, and it will take roughly 80 years to break even. Now, what happened after that was a lot of people replied on his tweet saying that such influencers are scamming people, they are propagating garbage, illiterate theories, and there's a lot of foul language as well that people have used. And in fact, a lot of that criticism is relating to his involvement in World, one of the cryptocurrency exchange that he had heavily promoted, similar to other Fin influencers. So people were angry about that, and somehow this anger has, found its way on this particular tweet. I didn't really find anything where people have any valid arguments to refute his claim. Most of them are okay with the cancellation. I don't think so there is any issues in terms of how he's arrived at that number. They are refuting in terms of the sentimental value attached to the Statue of Unity. Anyway, we're not here to discuss in details about the topic itself or his tweet, as it can then become very political, and I want to steer away from that. Now, we can all debate whether there is any accountability on the Fin influencers who promote heavily such risky assets, risky products, and shouldn't this space be regulated so as to protect the gullible investors just who get easily swayed by these high return products? Well, that's a whole another topic, and probably I might make a video on that some other time. But Akshat Srivastav is not the only one who's doing this. So there are a lot of other Fin influencers out there. In fact, almost all of them. Pick up anyone who you regularly follow and watch on YouTube or Instagram, and you will see that they usually are sponsored by some brand or the other, and they will use that in their YouTube content. So Akshat Srivastav isn't the only one who's doing that. And the other point is he should not certainly be blamed for the misfortunes of World. Now, I'm gonna get into the details of what happened in the whole World fiasco, why the ED was hard on World, and then they froze all their assets and all of that. Maybe you can check out some of the links. I will put it in the description below. However, the bottom line is that there are a lot of other Fin influencers who have promoted World because there was good money in it. We should not single out any one individual. The other criticism that he has faced is that he is not SEBI registered, and the fact that he has millions of people following him and seeking his advice and also acting on it. That does beg a question whether these Fin influencers in general, and not just Akshat Srivastav, be regulated or at least registered with SEBI. Now, he has countered this one himself, and he has some valid points. A SEBI registration is not a guarantee that the advice that he is giving is of quality, because there are a lot of other SEBI registered advisors out there who can peddle bullshit. What we need to consider is the quality of the advice and the value it provides to his audience. Alright, now having seen all of that, you may wonder whether he is legit and is there any merit in what he teaches online. So I'm a part of his member community, and I get a chance to see exactly what's happening in that community. And I can tell you that it is flooded with a lot of positive comments, a lot of appreciation, and there's a lot of people who express immense gratitude for his valuable insights. So my verdict, the positive sentiment surrounding Akshat usually outweighs the negative comments or criticisms out there. Alright, now let's get into the most exciting part. What his predictions for 2023 has been and whether it turned out to be correct. So to do that, I'm going to deep dive a couple of his 2022 videos where he's predicted about the stocks that will give a significant return in 2023. One of those videos that I found out was this one where he talks about some stocks that could double. So he has done a fundamental analysis for 4 stocks, and we'll briefly find out what those 4 stocks were. And this particular video was made on 29th October 2022. So it's roughly been 14-15 months since, and it's an easy one to understand whether his prediction has come true or not. Alright, so we're going to look at the stock price as of October 22nd, and then we're going to compare it with the stock price as of December 2023, find out what the returns were and if his predictions were true or false. The 4 stocks that he has looked into is Zomato, Lux, AU Small Finance and Max Healthcare. We're going to compare it with Nifty 50, and we're also going to look at NASDAQ because he did make some commentary about the NASDAQ tech stocks. So we'll look at, these few stocks and we'll do the comparative analysis. All right, so we're going to look at the stock price as of October 22nd, and then we're going to compare it with the stock price as of December 2023, find out what the returns were and if his predictions were true or false. The four stocks that he has looked into is Zomato, Lux, AU Small Finance and Max Healthcare. We're going to compare it with Nifty 50, and we're also going to look at NASDAQ because he did make some commentary about the NASDAQ tech stocks. So we'll look at these few stocks and we'll do the comparative analysis. The first one was Zomato, and I'm going to head to the historical price chart of Zomato to understand in October what the price range was in October 2022. So we'll take October 28th when the price was 62.6 rupees, and as of December 2023, let's have a look at what the stock price was. So December 2023, the stock price was 123.7. So if we were to find out the returns, that's 97.6%, which means it has roughly doubled, which means that his prediction has actually come true. Now we're going to fill this entire table similarly for all the other stocks. All right, here are the numbers, and this is basically what we have come back with the analysis, right? So for Lux Industries, the returns has been negative, so definitely the prediction is not true. With AU Small Finance, the return has been 37%, so it has not doubled, but it's still positive. Similarly, for Max Healthcare, it has not doubled, but it's still. So I felt it is good to then compare it with the Nifty 50 and has it beaten the index. In this case, it is positive, not doubled, and it has beaten the index. All right, so I'm going to give it to him because he isn't 100% accurate, but he is close. And let's look at NASDAQ as well because he did some fundamental analysis on NASDAQ tech stocks, and again with NASDAQ, the return is around 38% roughly. It hasn't doubled. It would have been extremely surprising if the tech stocks would have doubled in 2023. However, it's positive and that's a great outcome. And we see that NASDAQ has given a 38% return and it has beaten the Nifty index. So I'm going to have the same commentary for this as well. I also looked at another video he made in 2022 about the stocks that he is buying. This video was made in June 2022, and there are 5 stocks that he has analyzed. He's done a good in-depth fundamental and technical analysis on all of these 5 stocks. Let's have a look at whether his predictions have come true. So he has analyzed Bajaj Finance, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, Canara Bank, and TCS. 4 out of 5 of them are in the finance space and 1 of them in the IT space. And then let's compare it with the Nifty 50 index. So I've now extracted all the stock prices and have calculated the returns. Let's have a look at them. So with Bajaj Finance, the returns are 17%. And let's compare it with Nifty. So Nifty gave us a return of 38.42%. So you would have been better off investing in Nifty rather than in Bajaj Finance. So I would say the prediction here is false, considering it has not given a significant return as compared to the index. Again, with HDFC Bank, the returns are 26%. This is as of December 2023. I understand there will be a lot of changes in the month of Jan 2024 when I'm shooting this video, but let's look at a specific time period. It has not beaten the index, and so his prediction will be rated as false. The next stock that we've analyzed is Axis Bank. Here the returns are 73.86%. It has beaten Nifty, so I would say that his outcome is true. Similarly with Canara Bank, the returns are really good, 135%. And finally TCS, where the returns are a measly 14%. So it didn't beat Nifty, and I would rate it as false. All right. So let's put all our analysis together and see whether his predictions have come true for the year 2023. Of the 10 stocks that I have analyzed, his predictions have come true 6 times. I wouldn't say that's bad. Having watched several of his YouTube videos and really listened into his rationale as to why he's suggesting a certain stock, I would say that his analysis is quite thorough. And yes, he's not been right all the times. There are a few times where he's predicted something and that's really not what is happening as we saw. But there's so many variables in the market and it's really hard for any one person to predict exactly what is going to happen. I think the most natural question that some of you might have would be, what are his predictions for 2024? So I have saved you some time. I've done the research. I have watched all his recent videos on this topic, and I have gathered his top 10 views or suggestions. He's overall bullish for 2024, considering it's an election year. However, he has on several occasions now said that the market never goes up like this. There are times when it would correct, it can go down by 20% before we see that bull run. His stock recommendations, he is quite bullish on Dr. Reddy's, Equitas, and also Small Finance Bank. He is still very bullish on HDFC Bank, even though HDFC has been one of the laggards and not performed as per his expectations or his prediction. And if you've been following him, he has used HDFC as an example throughout his 2023 timeline. So that's another prediction. What is he selling? So he's selling some of his small finance stocks like Relaxo, Driven Finance. Some of these stocks he's saying might not do as well in the future. He's also cutting down his positions in small and mid cap stocks because he doesn't think that these stocks are going to give the same run up as they did historically in the last few years. So we have looked at Akshat Srivastav's portfolio. We've looked at the type of content that he creates, the target audience that he caters to, some of his 2023 predictions, whether they've come true or not. We've looked at what his predictions for 2024 will be. So let me come back to now, the question that I had initially posed. Do you think Akshat Srivastav is the best YouTuber out there to learn about investment? I don't think that you can learn everything about investing from a single person, leave alone just from YouTube. I think personally, Akshat Srivastav, who comes from a management consulting background, does an in-depth analysis on the stocks that he presents in his videos. And he presents his key messages in a simple and easy to understand manner, and which is why he has such a large audience in the finance space. But yes, there is a but. He isn't completely flawless. He has presented some contradictory view. Like in one of the videos, he said that he is going to hold on the small cap stocks for a long run. However, just a few weeks later, he released a video saying he is cutting down his positions. Now, markets are very dynamic, and I can understand when an investor changes their position. It can be very confusing as an investor to keep pace with such fin influencers. Anyway, I will overlook some of these discrepancies as these have been few and far between. Most of his videos provide good value to his investors, much better than a lot of other fin influencers out there. Please let me know what you think about Akshat Srivastav in the comments down below, and if you agree with what I have analyzed about him, and also if there's any other fin influencer that you would like me to analyze, then do let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, then please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe me to find more such videos in future.